Today on Shop Nation, we're in the midst of a global pandemic. We talk about how it affects your shop, an update on my shop situation, and share some resources to help you get through these very weird times. What's up, you guys? I'm Travis, this is Shop Nation, and I've been thinking of doing a series like this for quite a while, and what a time to start. The goal of this is really just to sit down, share some shop-related news, and highlight some makers out there that are doing some really awesome stuff. I'm gonna call this Shop Talk, and I think I'm gonna do this maybe once a month or something. I'd love your feedback on whether or not this was useful or valuable, but it's really just intended to be an upbeat source of shop greatness related topics. And since you're probably not doing anything productive anyways, and have scrolled through the entirety of Netflix, let's get started. Yes, this episode is during the 2020 pandemic, where the entire world is basically shut down and you're forced to hunker down at home and not do much. First and foremost, I sincerely hope you and your family are safe and are doing fine during this crisis, wherever you are in the world. I know it's tough to find any good news out there with the overabundance of news coverage and opinions on social media. However, I have always been an optimist, and although these are scary times with some uncertainty, I can't help but see opportunity. So in this episode, I want to highlight 3 topics. The first is a quick update on my shop situation. The second are some tips that I think will help you be more productive during this time of uncertainty. And third, I want to share some great shop resources here on YouTube that you should check out that I have really come to enjoy and find a lot of value in. So regarding my shop situation, let me first show you what I'm dealing with. Let's head out in the shop and I'll show you. Yeah, it's not great. Actually, the only part of this garage that's currently my shop is right there. So wedged into all of this stuff, which hasn't made its way either in the house or in storage, are the only tools that I have at my disposal, which are within that tote and that bag. And you can see within the tote, I just have a lot of my cordless tools. I have a couple layout tools, and that's really it. So I'm gonna have to get really creative when I end up building this next project. But to say it's painful going from a full shop with just about anything I'd ever need to that, bit of an understatement. Yeah. So not great, I know, but I do have some good news. The first of which is that I'm just about finished with plans for my next project, which is going to be the next probably 2 videos. I've already ordered all the materials, including some new tools, so that I can tackle that project. So I don't want to give too much of it away, but it is a compact solution for a multi-purpose space like a garage. So if you're using it to park your cars and have your workshop in there, it's great for that. It does have built-in dust collection, of course. That's all I'm going to say about it for now. The second piece of good news is that my wife and I are narrowing down our search for a house. Now, we planned on being in this rental house for about a year, but based on the fact that we're going absolutely crazy, especially with this whole virus quarantine mandate, getting into the new house looks to be sooner rather than later. And I don't want to get my hopes up just yet, but it looks like it will include a detached complete shop build. So that will be awesome to share. So in the meantime, expect some shop greatness projects as well as some potential shop news. Come on. But enough about me, let's talk about how you can take advantage of the time you have right now. So first off, what a great time to knock out some shop projects. Shop work is generally just about as socially distant as you could possibly get. So hey, let's do our part and flatten the curve. Now would be an excellent time to tidy up, knock down some organizational projects that you've been wanting to do, or even knock off some items of the honey-do list. Now, of course, this once-in-a-lifetime global pandemic shutdown has to happen during the very tiny period of time where I don't have a shop to go and play and build stuff. But if you are lucky enough to find yourself in good health and access to a shop or workspace, I would urge you to get out there and use it. Time is a precious resource, and although it's easy to focus on what we're not allowed to do during this quarantine period, how about instead think of all the things that you finally have time to do? Which brings us to the third topic, which is to share some great resources that I've come across on YouTube, which I'm almost positive you will enjoy. My intention is to share these because I really admire and appreciate the content that they're putting out there as it relates to shop stuff. Now I'm going to choose to focus on some of the smaller channels because a lot of the bigger ones you're probably already watching anyways. Let's face it, with an abundance of time on your hands, there is no excuse not to learn something and grow during this time. YouTube, as you obviously know, is a great resource, a free resource to allow you to grow as a maker and a builder, whatever label you want to give yourself. The first channel I'd like to highlight is called Woodshop Junkies. I briefly mentioned this channel in a previous video, the sanding cabinet build, but I really think it's worth mentioning again. Gene is a for lack of a better term, wizard of wood in South Africa who's building out a really compact shop in a really innovative way. What I like most about his channel is his attention to detail, his presentation, and his forethought when designing and building his projects. If you're working in a small space and want some great ideas, I would highly urge you to go check him out. He actually just put out a video about a spray paint organizational method that I really like. I actually featured it on my Instagram page. If you're not following me there, I would urge you to do so. But it's just a great example of how his brain works and the really cool solution he came up with to store something as boring as spray paint. I will most likely be stealing that, leveraging in the new shop. Check the video description at the end of the video for a link to any of these channels that I'm talking about. The second channel that I want to mention has become a recent addiction of mine, and it's called Alexandre Chapel. Now, I'm sure I butchered that name because this guy's from Norway and it probably sounds funky, but to a dumb American like me, that's what it looks like. Anyway, his channel is really good. Now, he's an industrial designer and he's currently building out a workshop with two of his friends. The half where two of his friends are working seems to be an all-out wood shop. His half is sort of a multi-function space. I really like that. His videography is amazing, so the videos are really easy to watch, and his presentation is really good. But what I like most about his channel is how he approaches projects. So again, it goes to planning and forethought. He also has a lot of good variety on his channel as well. For example, he built a ridiculously awesome dust collection system from scratch that you have to go check out. It's a 2-part series, well worth it. He also builds a huge workbench out of just MDF, which came out really good. He built a soundproof enclosure for 2 3D printers in his shop, and then he also has a couple tool restoration videos which are mesmerizing to watch. He restores an old Bridgeport mill, a milling vise for his Bridgeport, and an old drill press. Go check his channel out. I promise you won't regret it. I'm predicting that his channel is going to grow to be extremely large very quickly. Now, the third channel I'd like to call out is called 1 Minute Workbench, and the content that Tommy puts out is focused on a small, compact workshop with a lot of DIY tools. He recently just did a series called the Micro Shop, and it's an all-in-one concept of all the tools you would need in most shops jammed into a tiny design. And what's really cool is he built it entirely without using big expensive tools, so it makes it really approachable. I think it's a 7 or 8 part series, but it's well worth the watch. I would go check it out. What I like most about his videos is they are approachable. He doesn't have a shop full of Powermatic tools and things that you and I can't afford, but he builds these really fantastic projects using his brain and basic tools. And like many makers out there, he does sell full plans for pretty much all of his projects, so if you want to recreate anything he makes, you can. Go check out some of his videos, and in the comments mention Shop Nation sent you. He'll appreciate it. Alright, so one more bonus channel. Now, I can almost guarantee that you've never heard of this channel or watched any of these videos because as of the time of recording this, he has 252 subscribers. The channel is called Jordan Frank, and he has a 4-part series of an all-in-one workbench that I came across when looking for ideas for compact shop equipment in a garage. Now, personally, I think the guy is hilarious. The video quality is actually pretty good considering these are his first 4 videos, and the content within those videos is great. I think the workbench he designed is really good, and he actually offers free plans for it. So I expect big things from this guy in the future if he keeps it up, but I say let's go blow up his channel. Go check it out. So there, don't let this abundance of time get swallowed up with Netflix and mindless news reporting. Stay off social media, get out in the shop, make something, and grow. The virus is a scary thing, but we'll all get through this. Everyone seems to be dealing with it a little bit differently, so I'd urge you to keep that in mind as you talk about it. The spectrum ranges from, what a bunch of sissies, to full-on aluminum hats sitting in their bunker with 10,000 rounds of ammunition and 2 years worth of food. What is scary is uncertainty, but focusing on things you cannot control, like what the future holds, isn't productive. Focus on taking care of you, your family, supporting each other, and most importantly, grow during this time. Take advantage of the time you have. When this eventually ends, you'll come out on the other side better for it. I will see you guys on the next project, and as always, continue to pursue shop greatness.